Hi, it's Nick Ball, 14:38 on the 8th of July. I am very, very sorry, but I am mentally destroyed today. It's a long, complicated story. Unfortunately, I trusted doctors. They should tell you at school, whatever you do, do not trust doctors. But I'm stupid, I'm a little bit autistic, and I trusted doctors, and I am now a crippled wreck. Unfortunately, last night I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, as I have to do every morning to take more drugs, and I couldn't get back to sleep, so I had to take even more drugs to put me back to sleep. Otherwise, I'll be in physical pain all day, and that runs the risk of suicide. So, uh, I missed two calls from the Department of Work and Pensions. Why they would only ring 4 times when they know somebody is crippled, I don't know, but they did. I phoned. They asked security questions that I didn't have the answers for. An address that I lived in for a few months 25 years ago. I don't know that address. It wasn't my house. Oh, I can't find my phone. Oh, sorry about this. I'm really sorry, but I'm just destroyed. Destroyed.
Thank you for calling His Majesty's Courts and Tribunals, Social Security and Child Support Service. If you are calling about a mandatory reconsideration notice, referred to as MRN, you need to contact the Department for Work and Pensions, or equivalent, as we do not provide these. If you have emailed us and received an automated response, your email has been received and will be processed as quickly as possible. We record our calls for monitoring and training, as it helps improve the service we deliver. If you want to know more about how we handle your personal data, visit www.gov.uk/8MCTS.
Oh,
Please be kind to our staff. We are committed to helping our users, and in return, we expect our customers to act with politeness and consideration. HMCTS operates a zero-tolerance policy and will not tolerate abusive, aggressive, threatening, or inappropriate behavior.
Okay, come on.
Please press 1 if you are a professional court and tribunals user.
That's the wrong number. Oh, God, my mind is complete putty today.
If you wish to speak to someone in English, please press 1.
Oh.
Welcome to the Personal Independence Payments Inquiry Line, part of the Department for Work and Pensions. This is a free call. It would be useful to have your national insurance number, bank or building society account number to hand for when we answer your call. Please treat our agents with respect. Abuse of any kind is not tolerated.
Oh, come on. What about abuse by your staff when they're so happy to turn the phone down
Please
on
listen
me?
to all the options and select the appropriate one that applies to you to ensure we direct your call. If you're calling to make a new PIP claim or would like an update on your recent new claim, press 1. To discuss a bereavement, press 2. If you disagree with the decision we've made, press 3. If you're calling to inquire about your Motability lease or vehicle, press 4. If it's about deductions from your benefit, press 5. And for all other PIP inquiries, your call may be recorded today. We will treat your personal information carefully. We may use it for any of our purposes. To learn about your information rights and how we use information, please see our personal information charter at gov.uk. We're working hard to connect you to someone as quickly as we can. Please stay on the line and we'll put you through to an agent.
Before you speak to an advisor, I will ask you some questions to confirm your identity. I may ask for information more than once to make sure it is correct. Please do not worry or be put off. We do this to help people more quickly. If there are any issues, please stay on the line. An advisor will talk to you. I need to know your date of birth. Please say or type your date of birth. For example, say the 5th of March, 1981, or type 05-03-1981.
Come on.
Please speak slowly and clearly or use your telephone keypad now.
2nd of August 1971.
Please tell me about any of the benefits you have received since
8th December 2021.
Personal independence payment.
Okay, I heard.
Personal independence payments.
Is that right?
Yes.
Please tell me the day of the week you get paid, Pip. Please speak slowly and clearly now.
I have no idea.
Sorry, I did not recognize that. Please speak slowly and clearly now.
No idea whatsoever. I don't know.
Thank you for waiting. Please stay on the line and we'll answer your call as soon as possible. Thank you for waiting. Please continue to hold and we will answer your call as soon as possible. Did you know our busiest times are Mondays and weekday evenings between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m. If you call us after 10 a.m., Tuesday to Friday, you should find it easier to get through. If you would like to learn more about personal independence payments, please access our website at www.gov.uk.
Oh.
Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can.
Oh. Oh no. Oh.
Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can.
Oh.
Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent and we'll put you through as soon as we can. that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting.
Oh, come
We know
on.
that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can. Thank you for waiting. We know that you're waiting to speak to an agent, and we'll put you through as soon as we can.
Hello, thank you for calling Preston Service Centre. My name is Ethan. Are you calling about a claim today?
Oh, hi, Ethan. Sorry, I'm crippled and disabled. It'll take me about a minute to be able to speak properly. One second, please. I need to.
Yeah, take your time.
Oh. 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 Is it on? Sorry, Ethan. Things have dropped off the bed. I have to get them. Oh. Okay. Oh, hi, Ethan. Sorry, because this is part of a legal appeal. I've been told I've got to advise you that, as well as you recording me, I'm recording you, and it can be used for legal purposes. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's completely fine. I mean, all our calls are recorded anyways, right? So, could I start by taking your national insurance number, please?
Sure. NW November Winter 979261 B for Bravo.
So that's November Whiskey 979261 B for Bravo.
That's it, yeah.
And could you confirm your name, please?
It's Nick Ball.
Thank you. Now, could you confirm the name of bank we would pay the benefit into?
That's Barclays.
Thank you. And do you receive any other benefits?
Yes, I do. Universal credit. I've got the paper in front of me.
Yeah, that's fine. Universal credit is fine. And then, could you confirm your full address, please?
5 Elm Grove, Epsom, Surrey, KT 18 7LZ.
Thank you. And then, just finally, your contact number, if possible.
0973 394 298. Sorry, no. Sorry, 07387 394 298.
That's great. Thank you very much. So, how is I can help today?
Yeah, it's a saga that's been going on for 1.5 years. I'm in the appeals process, and Department of Work and Pensions are now 2 weeks late in providing the information, something like that. I don't know. They've broken the law anyway, but it's not a law anyone can be arrested for, so no one's ever going to pay any attention to it. But I got a phone call this morning. Unfortunately, at 4 a.m. every day, I have to wake up to take various pills. I couldn't get back to sleep. And if I didn't get back to sleep, I would have been in pain all day, serious pain, suicidal level pains. So I had to take sleeping pills to put me asleep again. And you guys called me at 9 in the morning. I didn't get that call. You phoned at 11:30, but only gave 4 rings, and I didn't pick it up in time. I tried calling the number back, and it said that you can't call us on this number. I got a text message to advise me about the second call, but that was after the second call had, well, actually it was before the second call, but I was asleep. So I just, I'm here. What, I'm desperate to talk to you guys. What did you want to speak about?
Right, so it looks as if the appeals team have tried to contact you.
Yeah. The appeals team.
Yeah, and then I can see today. Oh, sorry, go on.
I don't think it was the appeals team. It was Department of Work and Pensions, as far as I can tell. Not. Do you mean the team within Department of Work and Pensions who are dealing with the appeal, or do you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
So we'll have like a reconsideration team, appeals team, and so it looks as if also today they've issued an appeal bundle as well. I mean, I think what's best here is if I go through to the appeals team. It'll only take a minute or two.
Sure.
If that's okay with you.
Hey, it's okay. It takes 45 minutes to actually have this conversation in the first place. A few minutes more isn't going to hurt.
It's too long. Right, yeah. I think because it has been a member of the appeals team trying to get in contact with you, if it's okay with you.
Absolutely, yeah, please, Ethan. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, yeah.
Yep, all right. Just hold the line. It won't be any longer than a minute or two, and I'll get you Bob through, okay?
I'm holding. Thanks.
All right, no worries. Hi, is that Mr. Ball?
Hello. Hi.
Hi, sir. My name's Stephen. I'm a case manager in the disputes team.
Oh, hi, Stephen. Is it?
Hi there, sir.
Couple of things. Sorry, I'm really slow today. I have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning to take medication, and I couldn't get back to sleep, so I had to take sleeping pills to get me back to sleep, because if I hadn't slept, I would be in pain all day, and that actually gets to suicidal levels of pain at times. So I'm groggy from the pills. Also, I have to advise that because this is a matter for the courts, I am recording. So this can be used in a court if necessary, if that's okay.
Yeah, it is, sir. I just need to.
I'm sorry about this. It's just what I've been told to say. I wish I didn't have to.
So I need to read you a further statement then before we continue the call.
Was it Stephen? Sorry.
That's right, sir.
Yeah. Okay, Stephen. Yeah. Please read the statement.
Okay. Let's have a look. Right.
So you've asked to have your call with the department officials recorded. It is your right to do so. However, you should know that you are entitled to record your business with DWP if the recordings are to be used by you for domestic purposes only. That is for your personal, family or household affairs, including recreational purposes. Publishing the recordings on the internet or in any other way may not be treated as a domestic purpose and may indicate that you are acting in law as a data controller under the Data Protection Act. If you intend to make the contents of your recording publicly available, you need to notify the Information Commissioner of your actions. The Information Commissioner is Parliament's independent regulator of the Data Protection Act, and he may take formal enforcement action to ensure your compliance with the Act. It is a criminal offence for a data controller to process personal information if they have not registered this with the Information Commissioner. Okay, sir?
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. This is one of thousands of audio recordings that actually you guys have. You've got 4,500 recordings I've made on a disk drive that I've given you. The only thing is, yeah, I have no intention of publishing this on the internet or anything like that, but I do need to use it in a court of law if necessary.
Okay, so well, I've read you the statement. You know, in terms of Data Protection Act, that's what I needed to do.
Yeah, I don't think
going forward is fine.
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think it's. I think that's. I completely agree that you certainly shouldn't be broadcasting these kinds of conversations on the internet. It's just. It's. If I record a conversation and I haven't advised the person I'm speaking to, it can't be used in a court of law.
And quite equally, sir, I'm not. You know, I don't know anything further than the fact that if somebody advises me that they are,
you've got to read out the statement. Yeah, I get it, Steve.
Statement that I've done. Other than that, sir, I'm not really sort of in the area that could give you any more information about the Data Protection Act, other than what I've read and you've understood. So,
100%.
If you're happy, we'll leave it.
Yeah,
there and
absolutely. We'll move it there. Sorry, Stephen. It's such a little
right,
thing,
no,
but
that's fine. That's fine.
Just has to be done.
No problem. Yeah, so in terms of your appeal, sir, the appeal writer tried to contact you
this
3
morning.
times today. But
2
yeah,
times.
I believe that was, and obviously, given your circumstances, now I understand why you weren't able to pick up the phone. So I believe that to be a courtesy call to inform you that they had picked up your case, they were reviewing it, and as a result of their review, they are producing and sending out to you tomorrow a bundle of information for the appeal. So that gives our current position, and it gives you a copy of all of the documentation that we have used in making decisions on your claim up until this point. So our position remains unchanged on the basis of us producing and sending you that bundle, which will be sent out. It's then your opportunity, once you receive that, to review that, identify if there's any missing evidence that we haven't had, that you may have, that doesn't match up with what you've submitted to us, and also for you to then respond to us with any medical information or personal statements, which you would then do via Courts Direct. They would then notify us of any evidence or input that you provide, and we would then download that information from their portal, and we'd do the same process again. So we would create a task, it would go to an appeal writer, they would review any new evidence to see if that changes our position, and then we would respond via a supplementary response, or potentially respond to you saying, look, we're able to lapse the appeal at a rate of X or Y, at which point you have the opportunity to either accept that, if that is the outcome, or to say no and to continue with the appeal, which would then obviously go to a hearing. But that process can iterate a number of times, depending upon how much evidence you have and how much submissions that you make to the courts after you've received and reviewed the bundle. Is that clear,
I like
sir?
the use of the word iterate.
Sorry,
okay. I'm really into software engineering, and that's all about iteration. Okay, so you do this every day. I'm completely new to the system. I've already given you guys probably more evidence than anybody else has ever given you. Now, it was my understanding that Department of Work and Pensions, the Courts of Appeals have sent you the evidence. You're reviewing the evidence, and I was under the understanding, and this could be wrong, that there was two decisions. There was either the decision to award me the PIP, or there was a decision not to award me the PIP, and then we'd have to go in front of a judge. It sounds like there's a sort of in-between stage, or
not as such, no. So you're broadly right. So as soon as an appeal gets registered and we get notified of it, which we have on the 30th of May, together with a number of documents that you submitted to the courts, all of which we've got and downloaded and reviewed. So we have an opportunity to review the case after the appeal is lodged and notified to us. That's what we've done today. So we've done that. We've reviewed all of the new evidence that you've submitted that we have available. A number of documents all came into us on the 30th of May with your appeal submission. And that's our first opportunity to look at the appeal to say, have we made the right decision in the past? Are we able to change the decision based on the evidence that we've got already, plus the new evidence that we've got as part of the appeal submission? If we are able to do that, then that's when we look at the lapse option, which is to say, okay, we think we've made the wrong decision based on all of the evidence that we've now reviewed. So would you accept an award of X or Y? And if that is being offered, then that's, and you accept that, then the appeal stops or lapses in sort of technical term. And that's one option. The other option is that we look at all of the evidence. We say, actually, based on the review that we've conducted, all of the evidence we've read, the existing decisions we've made, we believe we've come to the right conclusion already. So we're not going to change our decision. And that's when we would then produce and send out the bundle with our current status and in a letter to you, which is what's going to happen now. So that's what the decision maker has concluded on their review today, and they've produced and are going to send out bundle, our response, and a letter to you, which you then have the opportunity to review.
Okay, so it sounds like a decision has. Sorry, I'm reading between the lines here. Obviously, I haven't got the information. Sounds like a decision has been made, kind of in my favour, but I have to accept a certain amount. Is that roughly?
That would be
sorry.
No, that would be one of the options. So there's two possible outcomes. Okay, so we've reviewed your case today from the appeal being submitted and all of the evidence. Okay, so that's happened. There's two possible outcomes. One is with the one we've taken, which is on review of all of the evidence and your appeal submission, we think we've already made the right decision on your claim, and our position remains unchanged.
Oh my God! I'm trapped in a bedroom and have been trapped in a bedroom for 2 years. I can't leave the bedroom. I am one of the most personally independent people. I actually have a friend or an ex-friend, and all he had to do was convince some psychiatrist he had ADHD, and they've snapped like that, given him PIP straight away. I've got other friends, and I know people who've lost their legs.
I can't comment on anybody else's case, Mr. Paul, I'm afraid.
Just for the record, if I commit suicide over this, it's because of the Department of Work and Pensions. Just for the record.
Ball,
I'm sorry.
Do you have any fixed plans to harm yourself or to take your own life? I have to take that statement seriously, sir.
I every other day. I'm in physical pain all the time. I live in a bedroom. My poor mother she's 77. She's got a crook back after bringing all this stuff, doing everything for me. I mean, I am if she dies, I would die of hunger within a week, or I don't know how long it takes to die of hunger. I'd die of thirst before I die of hunger because I wouldn't be able to get any water.
Mr. Ball, I have to take you back to the statement you've just made, and I have to take that seriously. And if you do,
absolutely take it seriously. I'm very close. If things don't go my way, it forces me.
Call the emergency services out, sir, if that is a planned intention that you have. Are
The
you
res-
telling me that you
the
have
result-
an active plan to harm yourself now?
No. What I'm telling you
Okay.
is, if the result of this is that for some reason, despite being crippled and in pain and having presented, well, over 400 audio recordings of me mentioning suicide, that's the evidence that you've got. If you went into the hard drive I gave you and typed in suicide, you'd have about 250 to 400 recordings specifically about suicide. So that's what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is, if I don't get the Department of Work and Pensions PIP, it would be specifically because of the doctors involved are trying to cover themselves. This means I will have to stop working on my technology, which I love doing, and I will have to work full time on legal. And that means going over every bad thing, all of the stuff that Dr. Fajalio did to me all of those years, all of the stuff. And there's about 20 different doctors in this chain. I'm already speaking to the GMC. It's impossible to get legal counsel because of the mental health troubles. If I am forced to relive, I use, because I've read a book on it, the best-selling book in psychology. It's the book explains that a woman doesn't like to go down a dark alley at night if they see something in the future, in the distance, if they've been raped in the past, because it reminds them of it. If I have to spend my next year or the last year of my life re-going over all the bad stuff the doctors did, yeah, if I'm forced to do that every day, instead of working on technology that would help the world, I'm just spent on reliving my rapist every day, that will probably cause suicide. That's what I'm saying. And if that is the case, if I've got a bundle for lawyers that's in case of suicide, this will be a part of it. So there's no suicide risk today. The suicide risk is by forcing me to relive the crimes that have happened to me, that will probably push me over the edge. Okay?
I understand the context. Yeah, I understand the context of what you're saying to me now.
Okay, that's good of you. Thanks, Steve.
Okay. All right, Mr. Ball, what my recommendation would be to await the bundle of information that we're going to send you, review that, and then if you vehemently disagree with the conclusion that we've reached, you have any additional medical evidence that we don't already have and haven't seen and haven't included in that bundle, you submit it to the courts. You submit any personal.
The only way I could get more evidence is by a severe legal campaign, a political campaign, the press, everybody just forced on these doctors who have done the crimes. That's going to push me over the edge. I can't give you more evidence.
I don't know your case in full or any detail about it, but I'm getting a sense of what you're saying.
The GMC do not disagree that mine is the biggest case of unnecessary polypharmacy in the history of the UK. The GMC do not disagree at all. I was given, for no reason at all, just because I trusted a doctor, I was given 800 milligrams of quetiapine and told to take it all at night. That's double the legal dose. Double the legal dose. That's not just a little bit above, that's double the legal dose. That on top of 400 milligrams of Lyrica pregabalin. That's what you use when people have had their legs chopped off to stop them feeling pain. This was given to me for anxiety when there were 10 other anxiety drugs you should use before that. The maximum legal dose there is 300 milligrams. I was given 400 milligrams. Okay, so we've got double the legal dose of an antipsychotic mixed with over the legal dose of a painkiller. That was added to by enough lithium to get Mike Tyson knocked out. He was given lithium and he lost a fight. Plus over the legal dose of sleeping pills, and I was advised to take all this at the same time And that, after stopping it because I was dying, I had kept having to go to hospital for this, that, and the other. And I realized, you know, Nick, you know, when you used to have this wonderful life up until the point you started taking the pills. And you know why I started taking the pills? Because AstraZeneca
Sounds like you were told to.
AstraZeneca criminally marketed Seroquel as a sleeping drug if it's 32 times lower than the dose that I was given later on. I was given it as a sleeping pill because it was criminally marketed in 2008 as a sleeping pill. Okay, AstraZeneca were fined $520 million by the US Department of Justice for that crime. Now, because of that sleeping pill, a psychiatrist confused that with what that sleeping pill at its proper dose is used for. So they gave me lithium. This completely knocked me out. Within 3 months, my staff had taken over my bank account. I'd arrived back in England 4 months later, just dazed from all these drugs I was taking. Instead of the UK, instead of the doctors saying, oh my gosh, you know, you've been given these drugs. They knew, I've got all the medical records, you've got all the medical records. You've got 500 pages of the medical record of my mental health. The first thing that happened was I went to see a psychiatrist because my doctor, my GP, Dr. Sevenoaks, couldn't prescribe lithium. I had no idea what this drug was. I had no idea it was for severe mental illness. It was given to me because my daughter died. Okay? I was given the sleeping pill, then I was given lithium because my daughter died. Now, the doctors wrote to my GP saying, this guy seems euphoric, i.e. that's code for he is being drugged for something he shouldn't have. My doctor was on holiday, so he never replied. And everything sort of went away until 2014 when I had a hallucinogenic effect from the medication I was on. I complained about this, and suddenly that was open season for this doctor, Dr. Fajalio, to start giving me criminally marketed off-brand epilepsy drugs. Now, the FDA had warned against giving topiramate for psychiatric reasons in 2008. A warning, do not do this. A lot of people, when they mix it with Seroquel and lithium, have killed themselves. But he did it anyway. And he conned me into it by saying it was for weight loss. We've got all this on tape. You've got all this on tape. You've got 4,500 recordings. From this point, I went back to Cape Town. At that point, I was back. You know, my companies were number 1, 2, 4, and 5 in Google for luxury villas in Cape Town. I had just successfully showed a franchise concept had worked and had made as much money as the initial business. Everything was great apart from this topiramate. This topiramate made me go absolutely crazy with anxiety and made me seriously suicidal. I managed to get back to the UK after going for a visit in South Africa to get for business meetings, which obviously all didn't go well because I was drugged off my mind. I was about to kill myself, and then I just looked at the label, the packaging for the drugs I was taking, and it said, warning, serious side effect, suicidal thoughts. I'm like, what? This isn't like a 1 in 1,000. This is the main side effect of this drug I've been given was suicidal thoughts. I go to the psychiatrist, Dr. Fajalio, and I say, what on earth is going on? And he knew there was medical negligence there. But instead of just stopping the topiramate, he gave me lyrica pregabalin in the same year that the UK lost £500 million, 502 million to be precise, in an elaborate scam by AstraZeneca to get doctors to write scripts for lyrica pregabalin, not pregabalin generic. He then increased the drugs massively massively over a very, very short period. So I went completely high. And obviously, I just spent 4 years working on altruistic ways to save the world. But when you're doing that, the rest of your life goes by, you lose all your money, and suddenly you're broke. And I go back to the psychiatrist, and he gives me more drugs. This is why it's the highest case of unnecessary drugs in the history of the UK, according to the GMC, or at least they haven't denied it. By 2020, during COVID, I used to have a group of friends. We used to go to a rave, and everybody started on Zoom meeting up again. And then there was this reunion, and I didn't go. I couldn't go. Ever since I came back to the UK from South Africa, Cape Town, where I was working with the Mandela and the Sisulu families, I had a stretch limousine. I bought 7 BMWs. At the time of leaving the country, or the time when I was drugged, I had 4 cars. When I came back to the UK, I stayed in my parents' bedroom. I didn't think to buy a car. Why on earth would I buy a car? I've got to save the world because I was on these drugs. I didn't think to buy a TV. I didn't think to buy anything. I certainly didn't think to socialize, and I certainly never would date again. So in giving me this lithium after my daughter died, the psychiatrist in South Africa had effectively stopped me having another daughter, because you would never, you can't, you don't. 2022 comes along, and at this point, I have realized that everything is wrong. You know, everything is wrong. And I stopped taking the drugs. And suddenly I'm back. You can hear me now. Do I sound like I'm crazy? Well,
No, sir.
no. I'm pulling up various stats from this, that, and the other, putting the legal case forwards. So I record the last session with this psychiatrist, and you guys have that recording. The GMC has that recording. In this, we hear the psychiatrist admit all sorts of medical negligence and say categorically, you don't have bipolar. You should never have been given any of these drugs. You don't need any drugs whatsoever. You're a normal person. That's what it said. But 3 days later, I get this discharge, and it's got a condition that was never discussed in front of a witness that I recorded, called schizopath personality disorder. I'm like, what's this? Can't you just admit what you said? Because this is going to cause problems. And it did cause problems. My GP didn't follow up any of the conditions that I reported that were linked to the overuse of pharmaceuticals. I have chronic constipation. I'm crippled because of probably what's called central sensitization, which is an effect of, it's basically like multiple sclerosis. It's not the same, but the effect is like multiple sclerosis or Parkinson's. I can't get out. I go to the toilet twice. I have to pee. I've got 3 bottles in my bedroom from where I have to pee in. That's my life. I haven't seen anybody socially for 2 years because I haven't been able to get out of the house because I can't walk more than down the stairs, and it gets worse and worse. I'm far, far more, I can walk far less than I could 1.5 years ago. I mean, I am absolutely destroyed by this. And all of the doctors refuse to discuss this with me because suddenly across my medical record, everywhere it says bipolar, 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 bipolar. All the doctors don't want to talk to me because they think I'm making it up. The GP, Dr. Sevenoaks, who I thought I'd fired, I thought he fired me. I've got a conversation. You've got a conversation in the evidence that I've given you of him telling me, I think our patient, doctor-patient relationship has been ruined. because I was reporting Dr. Fajalio for the drugs that I told you about, that the GMC are now investigating for. But the GMC are paid by doctors. So you've got to really, really, really get that case right if you want them to get that doctor suspended. I've got so much evidence against this doctor of medical record tampering because I've now got the medical records, and it's a complete fabrication. My medical record is wrong in over 100 places. Much of this has been proved because I recorded it, and what he says on the medical record, i.e. no hallucinations. I've got a 2-hour...
First of all, I totally understand everything you're telling me. I think we may be going into too much detail for the call of this type, if I'm totally honest with you. I understand that you rang for an update today, having missed the calls from the appeal writer. I have told you that we have reviewed your case again. I've told you the possible 2 outcomes and the one that we have recorded in this case. My strong suggestion would be to you to await the details in the post from us, to review that and to respond with any personal submission that you want us to consider in writing to the court.
I want someone to come here and see how crippled I am. Talk to my parents.
That won't happen as the appeal process, sir, but you will have an opportunity to attend a hearing.
How do I get there?
Scheduled by the courts.
How do I get there? I can't.
Well, you could have in which case you could have a video. You could request a video hearing with the courts. That's for something for you to have a discussion.
There is no way I will be able. That'll be half a year away.
Scheduled.
We'll be going into winter with no money. I need to pay for doctors. Okay, if I have to wait half a year, we go into winter with no money, with my poor mother having to. She can't get an allowance because she has to care for me all the time. There's no way. I mean, there's just no way. There's no way I will survive it. There's no way. Absolutely no way.
I understand what you're telling me, Mr. Ball, but there's not much else I can help you with on this call, I'm afraid. I've given you the status update as at today, when an appeal writer has reviewed the case and what's going to happen next. All I can suggest is what I've already suggested, which is that you provide, any responses you want to in writing, and that won't have to wait for a hearing at that stage. If we get whatever you send us via the courts, we will review on the literative, as we've discussed,
using a keyboard
to see if we're able to change the decision.
Using a keyboard causes me physical pain. Do you know how much pain I had to go through to do that initial appeal?
I don't, sir, no.
Well, imagine being hit in the face once a minute continuously for about 4 months. Something like that. That's the physical pain that was caused to me by doing that appeal. And I got people who... All of this because I've found that the doctors were incompetent. I know it was incredibly stupid of me taking the doctor's advice in the first place, but in all honesty, I didn't know that you're supposed to check everything a doctor says with AI before you trust them. I didn't know that. And to be honest with you, when this happened, AI wasn't there. God, I can't do this anymore. I can't fight anymore. I'm crippled. I'm destroyed. My mother's destroyed. My father's destroyed. My life's been destroyed. It was such a wonderful life. And nobody believes me.
It's not that we don't believe you, sir. I can only speak from the PIP perspective. You are awarded PIP currently. You are in payment. We have just looked at the appeal and not been able to revise it or increase it in any way, and that's obviously the decision that we've come to at this point in time. That can change based on review of new evidence, as I've mentioned. It's not that we don't believe you. We've applied, the process of PIP.
Surely personal
with the evidence that
independence,
we've got.
personal independence there must be some relation between those words and the service. I know people, and you know people, who are perfectly able to walk all over the place, who get PIP because they've conned their doctor into saying they've got ADHD or something. We all know this is happening. There are scams left, right, and centre.
Cases like that.
Well, I know you can't comment,
I can't
but
comment on any other cases, but we do have a fraud department that are actively looking for any cases of claim that are inappropriate.
well, I would say 99% of them are inappropriate compared to me, because I am absolutely crippled. I can't go anywhere. Did you enjoy COVID? Being stuck at home?
Personally, no.
Could you imagine COVID, but instead of being stuck at home, being stuck in one bedroom all that time? And imagine instead of it being for, 3 months? Imagine it being for 2 years in one bedroom all the time, other than 2 trips downstairs to the toilet a day. One of those is to wash out your bottle of piss. That's my life. That's my life. If you think that this life is undeserving of PIP, and yet somebody with ADHD is deserving, because, I mean, it's just completely wrong.
Like I said, Mr. Ball, we evaluate based on evidence, and we award or disallow based on evidence.
Have you gone through every recording I've given you? Because that would take one person about 1.5 years to review the evidence properly. And you haven't.
I can't comment on what the decision maker has done, but what I can say is our process is to review and read everything, and that's obviously what they have done. We've got significant numbers of documents that you've submitted as part of the appeal, and our process is to review, to read, and to evaluate, and to build up a holistic picture of a decision. And then when we conclude that decision, have the evidence to support it, and that's what's happened. Obviously, in the cases that we review, that's our process as decision makers. That's how we go about our work. So I wasn't the person that reviewed your case, so I can't categorically tell you what has been considered and what hasn't. What I can tell you is the generic process, which is to read, review everything, and build up a
What about
holistic
listen?
To justify your decision.
What about listen? I provided 4,500 audio recordings.
Well, we wouldn't be able to listen to anything, sir, because the recordings we can't download those.
No, I sent them to you on a hard drive, and you sent me back a photograph showing that you have received that hard drive. It cost me £20 just for the hard drive. I sent you 2 hard drives.
Again, I can't comment on that, but what I can say is I'm not aware of any ability for us to listen to recordings, telephone recordings, or anything outside of verbal evidence that's provided on calls to us. So if you've sent something, that might be a point that you would raise when you receive the bundle, and see whether that has been included in the response that we're providing back to you. But apart from that, sir, I can't really help you anymore on this call, I'm afraid. I've told you the current update.
Okay.
You're best waiting for that. You're best waiting for that bundle of information, reviewing that, and picking out any points or
I can't do it anymore. I can't do medical admin anymore. And for the record, you guys have killed me. If there's a judge watching this after I've committed suicide, not today, but as the winter comes in, because I have been forced to confront my rapist again and again and again, I'm now going to have to stop all my work on technology and focus purely on legal. And that's just going over it again in this same bedroom. I mean, you guys are unbelievable. You've killed me. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. I'm sorry, Steve. I know it's not your fault.
That's okay, Mr. Ball. There's no apology necessary. I understand. I can hear what you're going through. I don't understand it because I'm not living it, but I can hear how you are feeling. And I'm sorry I can't do anything else to help at this stage, sir. Are you still there, Mr. Ball?
Yeah. This is unbelievable.
I can only reiterate the advice I've given, sir. You're going to have to wait for the appeal bundle to be received, and if you have got the energy to focus on it, my suggestion would be that you take that opportunity.
Just for the record, this is the straw that broke the camel's back.
I understand how you feel at the moment and what you're portraying, but you know
It's
the
fact that I did 4 months solid work, 4 months solid work, getting all of this information, typing it all up. Every single time I hit the keyboard, it causes me pain. The amount of physical pain I had to endure just to get this appeal to you, and after it all, I'm not worthy, whereas everybody else who's on PIP, who's running all over the place, doing everything else, just because they've ticked the right boxes and done what the doctors have said. Oh, yes, oh, yeah. It's the scammers. There's so many scammers. I'm not a professional scammer. I never have been. I don't know how to do that. I'm a little bit autistic, so I don't know how to scam. I know there's people were saying, oh, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. I said, no, I will be completely honest because I'm destroyed. I can't. It sounds to me like you've spoken to my doctor, Dr. Sevenoaks, and he doesn't want to believe that all of this is his fault. So he's denying it to himself. Now I'm going to have to get the SAR, I'm going to have to take them to court or try to, and all of that's going to cause so much hate that I doubt I will survive it. You can't keep seeing your rapist. Figuratively.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
I only say it like that because it is in the book The Body Keeps Score, which is the best-selling book in psychiatry. So, first chapter. I couldn't get past the first chapter because it was so brutal. But mentally, Dr. Fajalio and Dr. Sevenoaks, well, Dr. Fajalio is my torturer, because if you look up torture with the CPS, it is exactly what happened. So legally, he's a torturer. When I die, he will be a murderer because he's killed me because of all the drugs he's given me. And my GP, basically, as the person who stood there watching me being raped, watching me being tortured, and then tried to cover it up. And then blacklisted me with other doctors so as I couldn't change GP. All to cover it up. That's what's happening. There's a scam inside of my doctors. I've been desperately trying to get away from them, and I thought I was with a different doctor. But I can't go to the doctor, you see. I can't walk to go to a doctor. And I was so busy with the appeal, I didn't have time to do the paperwork to follow up the SAR request, subject access request, to get my medical records. And because I didn't get my medical records, I couldn't send them to you. I couldn't analyse them, and I can't go to another doctor until I've got those medical records. They've broken the law in not
You've still got an
sending me.
opportunity to get them. You've still got an opportunity to get them. I mean, obviously, as you know, the appeal process can take some time, and you have an opportunity now to submit a SAR.
It was my understanding. I've given a SAR in January. They have 3 months by law to reply to it, and they've broken the law. My doctors have broken the law, but it's not a law you can be arrested for, so they don't care. They'll continue breaking the law.
That's obviously a matter for you to take up with the GP surgery, sir.
It was my understanding that the evidence that I've given was final, and anything extra cannot be used at court. Is that?
It can. As I said, this process can go on, and whatever you submit and whenever you submit it can be reviewed again, as I said earlier, iteratively, up until a hearing date is scheduled. So anything that you obtain, if you want to, progress with the SAR request with the GP, you want to respond to our bundle that we've sent you out, or will be sending you tomorrow, all of that can be reviewed on an iterative basis up until a hearing is scheduled, basically 2 weeks before a hearing, which may take a number of months to conclude. So, and at each stage, anything that you submit, we will review, and if the evidence is there to support a change in the award, we can offer to do that. But we have to have the evidence to support it, and an appeal writer can do that, at any stage in this process. So it's not the end. It's not what's happened today with us reviewing the initial submission.
It's the end, because I can't do medical admin. I can't. I've given you a 240,000 word report of my condition between August and I mean, how could I can't believe you've read everything and could possibly.
I've got to trust in the process that has been completed by a colleague, but as I said, wait for the bundle to arrive, see what it is that we have got and we have reviewed, and if there's anything missing, then you can submit that to the courts and we will review it again. But at this stage, Mr. Ball, we've been on the call now 45 minutes. I don't think there's anything more that I can add. I've told you the current status. I've given you advice. I've suggested what you can and can't do, or what you should be looking to do. I think I'm going to have to end the call at this stage, because I don't think that we're getting any further than we were when I've advised previously what the status is and what your options are.
Okay, Steve. I know it's not your fault.
Okay. You take care of yourself, Mr. Ball, and please, think on some of the suggestions that I've had, and it's not the end. This is just
this is the end. I very much doubt I will survive another year. It's 1% chance. This is the end. Okay, thank you. Have a nice day.
That's not the case, Mr. Ball.
I'm afraid it probably
Bye-bye.
is. Bye. I got nothing to say.